Hello.
Oh, I
How's
was
it
just
going?
saying, I went out with my sister to celebrate New
Yeah,
Year.
good.
How did you celebrate?
I was fast asleep. I watched a movie New Year's Eve. I watch it nearly every year now, and I went to bed after. I was too tired to stay awake. So
It so it's when your routine is going to bed at like 10 o'clock is late. 12 o'clock is a late one, isn't it? You know.
yeah, like I go to bed for like I get my evening routine done at about 8:30. So I'm in bed by 9, 9:30, and I'm doing my meditations then. So I'm fast asleep when it comes to 11, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah. I need to get back into that early bedtime routine. It's all gone a bit crazy over the Christmas period. We were just talking about that earlier, weren't we? About
Mm.
all the food and the late nights, and I did have a few drinks over the Christmas period as well, and like you don't realize how bad it affects you until you've had a few days of bad, like lots of food,
Yeah,
lots of sugar. Yeah, so
the food and the
I
sugar was
really
the one
see
for me.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's it. All the habits go out the window. But that's why I said to myself, like, I was even going to not do my morning routine and my exercise on Christmas morning or the couple of days. And I said, no, you're eating extra. These are the days you should be doing your exercise.
Yeah.
So I actually said, thankfully I stayed with it. Like, but I still put on the Christmas pounds, unfortunately.
I haven't even gotten the scales. I don't
Oh,
really.
I didn't weigh myself. I could watch my belly just kind of swelling up with all the food in it.
My clothes definitely fit differently. I feel like if I just drink enough water, I think it's like water retention from like eating lots of salty foods
Yeah.
and stuff.
But that's the thing, you drink the extra water then, but you get bloated from the water, so you don't know whether you're actually putting on the pounds or you're just actually bloated.
But the
That's what
good thing about feeling a little bit uncomfortable in your clothes and uh, feeling a bit lethargic is that it's a motivator to
it is.
change things, isn't
It
it?
is.
So we're
It is.
looking at New Year's intentions rather than resolutions. Um, that's because New Year's resolutions are very goal focused, and I am terrible for this. I have every year set a New Year's resolution. I've got a goal in mind. It might be to lose weight, it might be to do something else, and I go all in with lots of motivation at the beginning because I'm like, oh, my clothes don't fit, even my fat clothes don't fit, or whatever it is. And eventually the motivation runs out and I don't make it to the goal at the end. So intentions are more about the energy that you bring to it. It's about daily practice. It's about who you're becoming on the journey rather than the end goal. So that's what I'm looking at.
Ease yourself into it. And that's the thing, like Tony Robbins says this, change your state to change your story. And this helped me last January actually. Change how you see yourself or how you want to be. And then take tiny, tiny steps towards that person that you want to become. And that's it. It's just changing tiny little habits every single day just to start to embody the person that you want to become.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've been saying this for ages, I want to be a reader. So I not only read your book, which I love, by the way.
Thank you.
I recommend everybody get it. It was like a real journey, and I loved that you could tell when it was like Christmas time or whatever, that you could totally go on a journey with you and all the poems. So I absolutely love those.
Thank you.
And I read Atomic
Habits. It's such a good book.
Well. Thank you.
You're right.
But I absolutely love this book, and even though we know a lot of the stuff before we've read it, because it's really big in the coaching community, Atomic Habits, it's really well known, and a lot of the coaches that like influencers speak either of this specifically or of the same principles. And I've actually even done one on habits before and used the principles by getting ChatGPT to give me the main points. But it is so valuable to actually go to the source and read the actual
It really
thing.
is. Because I was the same. I was starting to do those habits all for the last year because my mentors had described it to me. But then I read the book myself and I was like, it gave me more motivation because I was like, I'm already doing some of this. I can do more.
Yeah, yeah. And what I really loved about it is I'm driven by science. So if you give me science or psychologists or studies that back up what you're saying, then that really hooks me in and gets me interested. And it's absolutely full of that. Like every point is backed up with studies and science and stuff. So yeah, it's really great. So I would recommend, if anybody is wanting to get their habits sorted this year, to read Atomic Habits is absolutely fantastic.
It is. It's a really great way of, as you said, motivating yourself. But like the thing is, we try to start big. We try to start too big. But when you start with tiny, tiny little habits on top of each other every day, you find yourself transforming into a different person overnight. It really, really does happen very quickly if you start small.
Absolutely. So, with that in mind, whether you're wanting to improve your health and fitness, you want to do something with your career, your relationships, finances, mental health, or just start a new hobby or be more creative, you can use this principle to, instead of having a New Year's resolution where you're goal focused, to start bringing in these habits, have a intention, and start embodying the person that is the person that reaches that goal. So it's important, I think, to have a goal in mind, because that gives us a direction, but that we shouldn't be focusing on it in the now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So some things that you could do, if you've got a goal in mind, you could think about the goal and what type of person would achieve that goal. So using me as an example, I'm trying out for the Great Britain martial arts team again for the World Championships in November. So I've got to try out in February. So I've got about a year to train for that. So I need to think about what kind of person I need to be a gold medalist, because that's what I want to be. So for me, I need to think about what small habits a person like that would have, what is important to them. And what I really love from the book that I hadn't got from ChatGPT when they'd given me a summary of it is it's about voting for that character at each point in your life, isn't it? Like whenever you come to a crossroads, do I have that cake or not? Right. Well, I'm voting for the Carol that's going to be a gold medalist. And I really liked that idea where you're always coming back to who you're embodying. Yes, that was one of my favorite bits from that.
Yeah.
What else? So it's thinking about the type of person that would embody that. What would their day look like? And it's not necessarily changing it all at once, but to have that image of what you're going to be in a year's time, achieving that goal. Like what kind of habits would they have? Take a minute to visualize it and think about acting how they would and feeling as they would. You can choose words that represent that. So for example, for me, just calling myself an athlete is a good one. I am healthy. I am active would be I am strong. So giving myself affirmations to have I do meditate, but if you meditate, you can use them in meditation or in the morning. And then think about a behavior that you can do today. So start today, which is what I really need to tell myself, because I was talking to you earlier and I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to start in a few days. So I need to take my own advice here. But it's what small step can you do today that is on the path to being that person in a year's time? So that would be my advice. Have you got any advice?
Yeah, like as I said, change your state. Like, initially, like this time last year, I was still eating unhealthy. I was still, not exercising. I was allergic to exercise. And it was actually the end of January. It was the end of January that I watched a live Tony Robbins. And he spoke about changing your state to change your story. And the next morning, like after, I was so enlightened by it. Well, actually, it was 3 days that we worked over the weekend with him. And on Monday, I had to do this. Like, I was having breakfast in bed every morning and spending hours on my phone before I'd even get up. And I said, this is not how a successful person lives. I want to embody a successful person. So therefore, I started getting up in the morning. I started doing exercise before my breakfast. And fair enough, I only started exercising enough while the kettle was boiling. So literally less than 5 minutes because I was hard. Doing squats in the morning is hard. But like then eventually now I'm doing 15 or 20 minutes of exercise and I see myself as a person who exercises.
Yeah.
But I have to start so small. And believe me, the first few mornings, actually the first month of mornings, I was literally crying, going, please let me go back to bed, please let me go back to bed. But that part of me was like, no, as you said, vote for the person you want to embody. I was like, no, Angela, if you want to be healthy, if you want to be successful, you're not going to go back to bed. And like even up until I read Atomic Habits about a month ago, I was still kind of, I suppose, moody doing my exercise in the morning. But now I see myself as a person who exercises. And that kind of just made me feel a little bit like, yeah, I'm a person who exercises, so it's not that hard. And when I changed that mindset as well, it was like, yeah, it's not that hard because I'm a person who exercises. So it literally has changed how you see yourself. And then you can actually embody or start to kind of stack these habits on top of each other. And you can build on them every single day. You know, like I was telling you, like I wasn't even able to do sit-ups. I was doing crunches and they were hard. Now I'm able to do my sit-ups, the full ones. And I'm like, oh my God, this stuff is working. It took a while, but it does work. So slowly but surely, just build on the tiny little habits that you want to, you know, to get to where you want to be.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing it talks about in the book, which I quite like, is that you mentioned that habit stacking. So for anybody who doesn't know what habit stacking is, it's when you take the habits that you are already established in your life and you add the habit that you want to incorporate. So you use your old habit as the cue for the new habit. So for example, it might be when you clean your teeth. And I think I used this example on a previous Mindset Live. Say I want to start writing a gratitude journal. Then after I've cleaned my teeth, I'm going to write 3 things I'm grateful for. And it's attaching the new habit, and it's about micro habits. So I'm not saying you can't join the gym and go to the gym. Obviously, that would be a great thing if you've got the motivation to do that. But probably at the beginning, you will have a lot of motivation to do that. You'll go out and you'll spend the money. I remember I have actually got a gym membership again. But previously, I bought a gym membership, and the only relationship I had with it was that it would take money out of my account every month, but I'd signed up for the year, so it kept on taking it. And I think I went for the first month and then my motivation dropped off. So the thing that's important to remember is that habits, when we're talking about habits, we're talking about things that are done almost automatically without the pain and the suffering. It's like you don't have to really think about cleaning your teeth in the morning. You know, that's just when I get out of bed, that's what I do. And you don't have to think about putting your clothes on in the morning. It's like, you know, once I've had my breakfast, I go and get changed or whatever it is. Yeah. You know, you have
it becomes unconscious.
Yeah, and which I found really interesting because I kind of got that. But it gave me a bit of an epiphany about why I struggle so much when my children go away. And it's because all my automatic behaviors, all the cues for it have gone completely. So I'm not doing anything, all the things that would happen naturally for me don't happen naturally for me because all my cues have gone. So I haven't got work. Usually it's in the holidays, so I haven't got work, and I haven't got obviously the kids saying feed me. Karate had closed down for the holidays, and so all those automatic things are habits. As that's I don't have the cue for me to do it, to initiate it, to have the motivation to do it, and so I have to put conscious effort into doing things when they're gone.
Yeah. I suppose create your own different cues maybe for when the kids aren't there. Create, separate cues.
This is the thing. I think I need to couple the cues that are based around my work and my children. I need to get other cues so that Yeah, so that's something I've said. I want to really sit down and audit my habits for whether it's voting for who I want to be or voting for the old me. Um, so over the next few days, I'm going to sit down and have a real think about that audit. But also, I do need to be building in cues that are going to work, whether the children are there or not. Because the thing is, they're like 11 and 13 now. So in a few years, like they're going to be gone. Well,
Yeah.
not gone, but they're not going to be around so much. They're not going to be bothering me to feed them here and there and everywhere, or knocking on my bedroom door because they'll be at their friends or whatever. They're gonna need me less. So yeah, that was another real
Yeah,
nugget
I
I got
suppose that's the thing. Like you're always self, or you're always going to be a mother,
yeah,
but your whole life kind of surrounded by that persona, or that image that you have. Or I'm not saying the right word here, but you get me. Like now you have to start living for yourself because your kids are growing up, and you have to start embodying that other side of yourself, because you're a human as well as being a mother. You are you as well as that, and it's separate. So you have to kind of start to create a life of your own as well.
yeah,
Because I see that a lot with parenthood. It's like, sometimes you can lose a part of your sense of self because you embody just being that parent. And I suppose to start those cues separate to that kind of part of your life will help. And that's why I love, when you do everything, they say as well, to make sure you do the habit at the same time every day.
mm-hmm.
And once you do that, that will actually just make it become automatic as well. And that's what I do in the morning. When I get up now, everything is done in sequence. And as I add to that sequence, and my nighttime habit as well, anything new to that, I just add it on to the next thing. And then I don't forget, and that's an easy way not to forget, is because you're adding it to something that's automatic.
Absolutely, yeah. And it should be an easy tweak. It should be so manageable at the beginning. Like yours, if you look back now, if you'd said to you when you started your journey of your morning routine, like if you told that person back then, that Angela back then, what you do every day now, they'd probably be like, oh, wouldn't you?
It was alien. It was pure alien concept. Me doing exercise, no. Like I love meditation as well, but I was always doing it at nighttime, or I might do it on a Saturday. But like I always wanted to do morning meditation. I was like, oh geez, I don't have time. I have time to sit on my phone. Yes, you have time. And that was the thing. Like even a simple thing of skincare or anything like that, I don't have time. But there's like, you're having a shower, you have a few minutes to try a bit of moisturizer.
Yeah.
And I changed my mindset to that as well. It's like, you're actually doing this for your health. It's not just something else. You're doing it for your health. And that to me made me kind of make sure those habits stuck, was because, it's something important. It's something long term. The goal here is to maintain my youthful health and healthy energy for a long time. And that's why that's the reward I'm getting. But literally, it's just, it was an alien concept, but who I am now, I could never go back to that energy. Like, yeah. I was so unfair. I was smoking, like, I was off the fags by then, but even when I did smoke cigarettes, I was eating shite. I was eating so bad. And I wasn't fit. And I was out of breath all the time. Now I feel so much healthier in myself, and my skin and my body, everything is just so much different. And I couldn't go back. I just couldn't. And I know we can find it so difficult to start these habits or to start to make a change, because that does look so unknown to us. But once you start to feel healthier in yourself, you're like, you'll never be able to revert back to that old
That's
self.
the thing. And it's like, often when we start doing something, we want to see the reward. And actually, so it talks about this in Atomic Habits, that actually to set a habit, you have to have some kind of reward from it. And so what we tend to do is we run on motivation until you can start seeing the results, and then that will keep you going for a period of time. But what is a better situation is to get into the practice of small rewards when you are voting for the person who you want to be, and making those habits so small and manageable that it's almost impossible not to do. So there's things like, so say I was going to start journaling, after stacking it on something that I already do. So I clean my teeth in the morning. So I stack it on something that I already do automatically. So I've got a cue already for it to happen. And then I have my book right next to the sink so that I even see the book there. I don't have to go anywhere to do that behavior. It's already there. So it's like designing your environment so that you flow from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And just start with one habit and do that for a week and then reflect on it. Like, can I stack something else on, or can I expand that? And that can look like just putting your gym gear on and not actually going to the gym initially.
Yeah.
And rewarding yourself for saying that you were going to do that and doing it. Mm-hmm. And then after a week, maybe you can actually go to the gym for 5 minutes. And if it's a very big difference to what you normally do, it's going to be really hard to set that habit unless you get some massive reward. If it's not so big a task, you don't need such a big reward. But if you go to the gym and you're doing all this cardio and the next 2 days you're stiff and you feel you're going to need a huge amount of motivation to do it again, and you have to do it because you're not enjoying it really. Maybe you do, because you do feel good after being to the gym. You know, maybe you will enjoy it. But in a lot of cases, if you're somebody who doesn't go to the gym, then you are going to be forcing yourself. You're not going to be enjoying it. And then you are not going to set it as a habit. You will always need the motivation. Whereas if you start small and make it automatic, the behavior automatic from the cue, after I get home from work, I put my gym gear on, or even when at work, I change into my gym gear and drive by the gym, which is like designing it even better, isn't it? So you don't even have to go back out. It's like thinking, how am I going to make a very small change that's going to vote for the person I want to be in a year's time? Yeah. So.
And it is, it's do it easy. Like, I do my exercise in the morning in my PJs. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even get into gym gear. But like, I got this kind of routine. I go out and I grab my weights and I grab my mat while I grab the cat bowl and I feed the cat and then I let the dog out and then I do my, you know, everything's kind of in a little circle as I walk around, you know, but I have everything in my hand. I make sure and get my weights and my mat as I'm doing these things so that it's kind of just part of it and then it comes naturally to me then, you know, and it is. It's just build on top of it. It's just so much easier that way. And my little reward after that is you know, I get to have my cup of coffee then and my bowl of cereal. And I don't know, that to me is a reward. And then I get to have my meditation and that's another little reward.
Yeah.
You know, but it all kind of comes in that kind of sequence. And then I get to have my shower, which is another reward because I feel refreshed. So everything is kind of, like, all these things are habits, but to me they're kind of rewards as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, a reward can just be well done, you know. It doesn't have to be a cake or a handbag. It can just be a well done.
Period. Me doing a plank for 40 seconds without having to collapse is fine. And I know 40 seconds isn't a long time, but fucking hell, it kills me. So, you know, even the adrenaline I feel after doing my exercise, I'm like, yes, I did it. I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
So